Hello and welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to be looking at list comprehension in Python. So first, let's see what list comprehension is. List comprehension is a way of creating lists in a concise way. So this is going to make our code more cleaner and more readable. So first, let's look at the syntax to using list comprehension in Python. So we're going to have a variable to store the list in, then we're going to have square brackets, and inside the square brackets we're going to first have an expression, then we're going to have our for statement, then we're going to have an optional if statement. So how this works is we're going to have a for loop that's going to run as many times as the iterable, and optionally we're going to have an if statement that's going to check a condition, and if this condition is satisfied, it's going to return an expression. So the expression part is what's going to be stored in our list. So let's look at an example. Let's create a variable called squared, and we're going to set it equal to x to the power of 2. Then we're going to have a for loop that is going to run in the range of 1 till 5. So here x is going to have the values from 1 till 5, and each time the loop runs, x to the power of 2 is going to get calculated and stored in the squared list. So we can print the squared list to the terminal. So we're going to save our file and open the terminal and run the Python file. And as you can see, we get the values from 1 till 5 squared. Now let's look at an example with the if condition. So let's create a variable called odd numbers. And for the expression, we're simply going to have x, and we're going to loop from 1 till 5 like we did before. Here we're putting in 1 till 6 for the range function. That is because the end value is not included, and this is going to run from 1 till 5. And then we're going to define our if condition. So we're going to check if x modulo 2 is not equal to 0. Again, here x is going to have the values from 1 till 5, and in each iteration the condition is going to be checked, and if the condition is true, then x, or the expression part, is going to get returned. So we can print this out. So we're going to have print odd numbers. We're going to save our file and run the code. As you can see, we get the odd numbers from 1 till 5. Now let's build a small program that uses list comprehension. So we're going to have a guessing game. First, we're going to import the random library, which we're going to use to generate a random number. And we're going to define a variable called secret number. And we're going to use the random library to give it a random integer from 1 till 10. Next, we're going to have a variable called user guesses, which is going to be a list that stores the different guesses inputted by the user. So we're going to use list comprehension here. For the expression, we're going to have an input statement, which prompts the user to guess the number. And since the default return of the input function is a string, we're going to convert this to a number using the int function. So this whole statement is going to be our expression. Now we're going to have our for loop. So we're going to have for. Here we can define a variable, let's say I, and have a range. So this range is going to be the number of guesses the user is going to have. Let's give them 3 guesses. So here, as you can see, we're not using the variable I. So when you're not using the variable, you can replace it with an underscore. Now that we have the user guesses stored in a list, we're going to have another variable called correct. And we're going to use the any function, which is going to return true or false based on a certain condition. Our condition is going to be if guess is equal to secret number, and we're going to loop through the user guesses. So we're going to have for guess in user guesses. If the guess matches our secret number, then correct is going to be true. If none of the guesses match the secret number, correct is going to be false. So we can use this in an if statement. So we can have if correct. We're going to print out you guessed the secret number. And we're going to tell them what the secret number was. So we can say the secret number was, and we're going to pass in the secret number variable. In order to use the variable, we're going to use a formatted string, so we're going to pass in f. Next, we're going to define what happens when the user has not guessed the secret number. In that case, we're going to print you did not guess the secret number, and we're going to tell them the value of the secret number using the secret number variable. Again, we're using formatted strings. So now we can save our file and run it in the terminal. We're going to be asked to enter a guess. Let's put in 1, 2, and 3. As you can see, we did not guess the secret number since the secret number was 7. Let's try one more time. We're going to run the file again. Let's put in 4, 5, 6. Again, we did not guess the secret number, which was 10. But if we did guess the secret number, the you guessed the secret number string would be displayed. Thank you for watching this video, and don't forget to like the video and subscribe to our channel for more programming content.